Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? Hope you are having a great day. Ready for some new stories from Ask a Lawyer? Let's go to the first one, about OP's sister, who is furious OP doesn't want anything to do with her after what she did to her best friend, who she was dating, and chose to invite him instead of her to her wedding. Well, crap really hit the fan after OP revealed her reasons to her sister's now husband. Listen to the story to find out what happened, and of course to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My sister, Rose, was engaged to my best friend Noah several years ago. During their engagement, she asked if he would support the two of them while she returned to college for a change of career. He loved her and was more than happy to do this. During this time, she was all in on school, or so we thought, and she left him to take care of everything household related. Then, 3 months before they were due to get married, we found her cheating on him with his cousin. Noah's cousin is a huge a-hole who picked on Noah throughout their childhood and into their 20s. So the cheating hurt worse than anything. Noah's cousin was smug as hell when we found him and Rose together, and even revealed she had been pregnant with his kid and had an A with Noah's money. The affair had been ongoing for months. Almost the entire time he had been maintaining everything by himself, while she was supposed to be only dedicated to college. I was disgusted with Rose and told her I would not stand by her side after what she did to Noah. She said she wasn't shocked since I always wanted to duck Noah, which is not true, but he's my dearest friend and more family to me than she is. She was with the cousin for a while, and then he gave her an STD. She moved away after that. She moved closer to home 3 months ago, with a husband, and was surprised when I treated her like a stranger instead of a sister. She was even more surprised that Noah and I remained close, and that he was a person of honor in my wedding. A wedding she had not been invited to and had not been aware that I had. She tried to talk things through with me in front of her husband, but it became clear he was under the impression it was childish sibling issues between us. She told me we deserve a chance to be close for the first time, and she accused me of putting a friend before family. I told her that she had some nerve, that she's a crappy human, and I would never choose her over Noah, that he is there for me like I am him, and all she ever did was ignore me and then destroy my best friend. Her husband asked what the hell we were talking about, and I told him what she had done, how she had left things, and that she came back acting like none of it happened, and judged me for staying close to Noah. Rose is pissed as hell at me, and said I am holding this against her too much, treating her badly, and interfering in her marriage, which is none of my business. She tried to retaliate by telling my husband that Noah and I used to be a thing. My husband is still laughing so hard his sides hurt. He knows both Noah and I enough to know it's untrue, and he trusts me. I told Rose she was still petty as hell. She told me I'm the one who went too far. Am I the a-hole for what I said to her husband? Well, OP didn't lie. Her sister is truly a very crappy person, and looks like she has no desire or capacity to acknowledge the harm her actions have caused. OP needs to stay away from her, as it looks like she is a narcissist. Everything is never her fault, always another person. Cheaters and liars never win. Eventually, the truth comes out, all entirely her fault. Let's hear the community's opinion on the situation. Sunset Texas Armadillo says, "Not the a-hole. Your sister truly is a crappy person. Luckily, you can choose friends like Noah to become your family. Your sister is not someone who should be in your or anyone's life. She uses and manipulates others without regard for their feelings. It's good you are not allowing her back in your life." Check Intelligence 7828 says, "Not the a-hole. When your defense is making sure the truth doesn't get told, you're pretty much always the a-hole. Your sister relied on lying, and now is angry you told her husband the truth. That's on her. Foundations built on sand and all that. You've done nothing wrong. I wouldn't want to be close to Rose either. She sounds awful." Mother Mock says, "Nope, not the a-hole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. She tried to come back and play it off, and the prize she won was her husband learning the truth about her recent past. She's a narcissist." My first wife and I dated through high school, but after high school I enlisted, and she went to college. But we never broke up. We always intended to get back together, and we did, although she did date a couple guys while I was away. After I was discharged, I came back home, and a few months later we went on our first real date. And fast forward a few years later, we got married and had a kid. My wife reluctantly stayed home with the kid since I didn't want to, and I had to get another full-time job and a part-time job to make it plausible. But there was no way I was going to be a stay-at-home dad. 10%, eventually 25% when I made more, of my paychecks went to her, and she put it into an account in her name. It wasn't spending money, it was saving money for her and her alone. When my daughter moved away for college, she handed me divorce papers and said there was someone else, and all I did was work, and she had only stayed with me for our daughter. Fast forward 5 years later, and I got remarried. I never told my wife that 25% of every check is deposited directly to my ex-wife. Although she knows that, she didn't seek spousal support since she had her boyfriend, who she married almost immediately after divorcing me, according to my daughter. We discussed our finances as we prepare to buy a house and put everything on the table. My wife says there's no point in giving my ex-wife money since she cheated and didn't want support. She claimed that a quarter of every check is way too much, since I only make about $80K after taxes. She says it should be going towards our future and not my ex. But my ex gave up her career to stay at home, all because I didn't want the shame of being a stay-at-home dad. She says I'm an a-hole for that, and an a-hole for not putting her first. But that's not really what it's about for me. I don't mind supporting her. I mean, what if her husband leaves her? What will she do? We're all in our 40s. My wife has a son who she takes care of now. My daughter is 23. As for timeline, I enlisted at 17, discharged at 22, married at 25, and am currently 48. Ex-wife is 49. Wife is 40. As for reasons I didn't tell her, because this arrangement is weird, and I wasn't sure how she'd react. I'm planning on stopping paying her 25%. I think I'll just give 10% to my daughter. I do still care about my ex. Wow. Yes, OP is 100% in the wrong here. OP's wife is right. I'd be fuming pissed to find out that my husband's ex-wife, who cheated on him, is still getting his money just because. I understand OP feels bad because he made her stay at home, but she also needs to take accountability for her part in that decision. Nobody can make you do something once you're an adult. She wasn't forced to stay at home and have a kid. Besides, she is out of that situation entirely now. What's stopping her from getting a job now? Is she staying home and living off the new husband? Why does she still need 25% of your paycheck? Let's see if the community agrees with me. JM Golden 33 says, "You're the a-hole. Were you born yesterday? Are you the most naive person on the planet? You're just giving money away to a woman who doesn't value you and didn't ask for it. You sound delusional, like you want to keep your ex as a fallback plan by paying her. If your daughter was a minor, I'd maybe understand, but she's not, so you're just getting played here, and if you're not careful, it's going to ruin your current relationship. If you were lighting that money on fire every month, that would somehow be less ridiculous than your current arrangement." Franchise Lawyer says, "Oh lordy lord, you're a schmuck who's been taken advantage of his entire damn life by your ex. You better believe you're the a-hole for throwing money away. Your ex has been laughing at you for decades. You're a sucker. It's not even that you're too nice, my man. You're a mark. You've been conned, and the worst part is, you conned your own damn self. Stop paying her immediately. She's been saving money for herself for decades, while you worked 3 damn jobs. Why the hell wasn't that money supporting your household? Were you saving anything?" My ex and I have a 14-year-old daughter together. My ex and her husband wanted to take my daughter and their kids to a trip. My daughter hates going to trips with her mom. Some of her reasons are that, 1, they get one room for all the kids. Her half-siblings are female 17 and male 8, and she hates sharing a room with them. 2, a lot of the activities are child-friendly because of her younger brother, which she finds boring. 3, it was a 13 hours drive, which she finds really tiring. 4, they either eat homemade food or eat in low-quality restaurants to save more money, and my daughter hates low-quality food. And more reasons. Her mom insisted that she needs to go with him, so I decided to make this more pleasant for her. I talked to her mom and decided that I will also go to that city and spend some time with my daughter. For example, whenever they want to do a child-friendly activity, I take my daughter somewhere else. And she agreed. My daughter and I decided to go by plane because we both hate being on the road for a long time. Then when we were there, I got a room for her so she didn't have to share with anyone. We would eat breakfast together in a really nice nearby restaurant. Then she would spend time with her mom's family until lunchtime. Then I would take her out and bring her back after dinner. Now my ex is saying I'm an a-hole for ruining their trip, and apparently this is not what she agreed to. And I made her other kids jealous because they had to watch their sister get a room for herself and eat better food and come back from shopping with her hands full of new stuff. I wonder if I was actually the a-hole. I mean, she agreed that I'd be there and spend time with my daughter, so I don't understand why she's acting like this is all of a sudden. I think OP is clearly in the wrong here. Sharing a hotel room with siblings is normal. Eating homemade food is not a problem. Eating at cheap restaurants is not a problem. Road trips are not a problem. All of this is normal stuff for a teen to complain about, but also normal stuff kids can benefit from experiencing. OP hijacked their trip. OP's daughter received preferential treatment every step of the way, which would understandably cause a rift with the other siblings. OP should stop spoiling his daughter because she is becoming a spoiled brat. Let's hear if the community thinks the same as me. Sparkling Wine 23 says, "You're the a-hole. Of course it would create animosity between siblings to have such different experiences. And why would the 17-year-old like stuff for the 8-year-old any more than the 14-year-old would? You're creating a self-centered monster who won't cope well in the real world if she's too good for low-quality food at 14 and can't handle a family vacation. How will she handle work experiences, college?" Pepper 90210 says, "I'm wavering between you're the a-hole and no a-holes. I'm getting a-hole vibes from you because you seem to look your nose down on eating homemade food and low-quality restaurants to save money. I hope you aren't raising your daughter to be a pretentious snob. It was an a-hole move to send your daughter back to her mom and siblings with new stuff from shopping sprees. You could have kept that stuff in your room. My gut tells me that you enjoyed rubbing all of this in your ex's face." Patrick O's Playhouse says, "The voice I'm hearing this read with is smug AF. Has daughter voiced the list you gave us to her mom? Was there a discussion where she and the 17-year-old ever sit mom down and let them know they were not 8? She's 14. Low-quality restaurants are what? Boring chains? Economical? Not great? Likely won't cause harm? I don't go to them, but I would be appalled if my teen acted out should someone stop there for a meal on a road trip. So OP is better off financially than the dude his ex married. He encourages his daughter to be a snob and to look down on her own mom's new life. Honestly, I can't see much positive about any of it. You're the a-hole." I've, 33 female, been friends with Charlotte, 33 female, since we were little girls. Despite being close to her and her daughter, 5 female, I don't really see her wife, Avery, 35 female, much. She doesn't get along with most of our friends with Charlotte and is a private person, which is extremely fine. Avery is a cardiologist. My mother-in-law's sister is sick, and I asked Charlotte if she could arrange an appointment for us from her wife. She called and said she had arranged it. I decided to accompany my mother-in-law and her sister to the office. It all went well, but I noticed Avery did not have her wedding ring on. During the whole visit, she did not even mention Charlotte until I said something, and everyone addressed her as doctor, while the other time she insisted on Mrs. It was kind of weird to me, because she always has worn it when I've seen her. Actually, the few times we were out, Avery always wore her ring and acted like it was very important to her. I don't know what was going on, but I thought as her good friend, I should mention this to Charlotte. The next time I met up with her, I said I had noticed that Avery was not wearing her wedding ring at her office. She laughed and asked what I was getting at, and I said I just wanted to mention what I had seen, and I didn't mean anything. Charlotte said Avery is a very by-the-book person and never wears any jewelry in her office or at the hospital. I apologized and only said I thought it was weird that she didn't wear it and didn't mention anything about her wife despite knowing who I was. Charlotte told me that she just explained and that I need to let it go. I let it go, but she is still clearly upset. My other friends told me I should not have mentioned it and I should apologize to Charlotte. I still smell something fishy going on, but I don't know. Striking Firefly says, "You're the a-hole. A lot of people in medical fields don't wear their wedding rings at work. And why should she bring up her wife at your mother-in-law's appointment? It's a cardiology appointment, not a social call. None of this is remotely weird except your behavior in this situation." Outrageously Penguin says, "You're the a-hole. You were being a busybody and got rightly called out. She didn't mention her wife during the appointment because she's a professional at work. Similarly, she wasn't wearing her wedding ring because it could interfere with her work. You decided to take that as a sign to insinuate to her wife that she's a cheater. You need to get some of your own business to mind." Madeline Gumbo says, "You're the a-hole. So your issue is that she didn't bring up her personal life at work and complies with well-known recommendations that rings interfere with medically appropriate hand-washing protocol." Our daughter, 20 female, has been dating her boyfriend, 19, for about 8 months. Due to problems at home and extremely controlling parents, we invited him to stay with us when he had a fight with them. We attempted to mediate for the sake of both of them. Now, his parents are accusing us of tortious interference in a verbal contract they say they have with their son to follow a specific career path. The son says the only thing he agreed to was paying them back the money they borrowed for school. The loan is in his name. We're giving him a place to stay with no expectations. We don't profit off of it in any way. We live in Ohio. They laughably claimed they were serving us a cease and desist order in a Dunkin' Donuts when we were trying to mediate. This consisted of them handing us a piece of paper that looks like it came off Google somewhere. No attorney names, etc. Apparently, the mom has tried this tactic with other people, and it has been successful in getting them to back off. Does any of this sound like it could have merit? Any additional steps to take? We are currently waiting to see if they actually serve us with real papers before contacting an attorney. We are taking the following steps. File change of address. His driver's license is en route via USPS. His family keeps him from having access to his vital records, birth certificate, social security card, health insurance card. Opened his own bank account they are not aware of. His mom has previously taken out loans in his name without his knowledge and has also been convicted of tax fraud. JMA at APMT says, tortious interference is a common law tort, allowing a claim for damages against the defendant who wrongfully interferes with the plaintiff's contractual or business relationships. See also international interference with contractual relations. Being an adult child of someone isn't a business contract. Kid is an adult now and can make his own choices. Thank you for providing him with a positive role model and safety net. Worst case scenario, father could get drunk and come over wanting to fight. He could cause lots of property damage. I suggest you cut off contact until they, kid's parents, decide to get their heads out of their butts. I wouldn't hold my breath over the chances, though. A restraining order or no contact order is something the kid should consider. Brilliant Badger 348 says, the birth certificate and social security card can easily be replaced. Has he checked his credit? If his mother is stealing his identity, then he needs to freeze his credit ASAP and report the issue to every creditor, reporting agency, and the local authorities. Update. Our daughter's boyfriend has now been living with us for a month. He's locked his credit, has obtained his social security card, driver's license, and birth certificate. He started a job 3 weeks ago, working full-time, making $20 an hour. To me, it's not the greatest job in the world. Very heavy physical labor, but he seems to enjoy it, and that's what's important. He got his first paycheck and was just so excited to be able to purchase things around the house. We took him to move the rest of his stuff out. His parents knew we were coming and had strategically moved all their cars so that we couldn't park in the driveway. Normally they park side by side. They had parked 3 cars in a row about 6 feet between each, so that no one could park on their property. We made a point of parking in front of a neighbor's house so they couldn't complain about it. And I could almost see his father stomping his feet like a 2-year-old who didn't get a treat. Since then, things have been quiet. No suit for tortious interference, as the mom had repeated like 10 times. They've no leg to stand on, of course, but as someone pointed out, he's now working full-time when neither of them are.